and welcome to another exciting episode of Boston Sports Nuts. I'm Paul Izzo, along with my good friend Jim Russo.
Paul?
And my friend Ken Berman over here to my right.
Hi, Paul.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you guys. Hey, Jim, way down there on the other end of the table.
Ken,
how you
how
doing,
are
my
ya?
man?
He's in the East time zone. You're
In
in
the-
the mountain zone over
Yeah.
here.
And this is a smaller little set than we had. We were further apart than this
I
before.
know. This is a little close. We can get some breath mints. All right, so this is a very special edition of Boston Sports. It's very special.
Yeah.
We've all been visited by someone from the East. We've all been touched by the hand of Nostradamus or Karnak the Magnificent.
Right.
And we're going to bring to this show our predictions for 2026. Now, it's a little late. We're well into January, February, whatever. Where are we, by the way?
It's mid-January,
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to
2026.
give some predictions for the rest of the year and see how, by the end of the year, we'll see which one of us is the most accurate. But I think every one of these is going to come true.
Even if they're contradictory.
That's my first prediction.
Even if they're contradictory.
Yes. But predictions are always fun, and hopefully you join along and listen. And you, if you're watching or listening at home, write these down, hermetically seal them in a mayonnaise jar, and at the end of the year, you can see how you make out.
So
All
we're
right?
doing a prediction show?
You would well, I did predict to Jim that you would forget.
Yeah.
So far, I think I'm I think I'm winning. All right, Ken, why don't you get us started? Give us your first prediction for
All right.
the year 2026 in the world of sports.
I'm going to go with the Celtics.
Okay.
My prediction is Tatum returns March 1st. Celtics look bad for 5 or 6 games. Then turn it around and get real hot and go to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lose by 1 point in Game 7. Refs deliberately make crazy calls against the Celtics. Obvious foul not called on Jaylen Brown's last shot as he gets elbowed in the head and undercut while driving to the hoop.
You know, that just might happen.
It's 2 fouls on one play, too.
That's an extraordinary prediction.
Yeah.
So you've got the Celtics bouncing back after the return of Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take that on with
Okay.
a prediction of my own.
Oh, we'll go. Let's
I
go.
predict that Tatum returns in or about March, and the Celtics' winning percentage does not improve. I predict that the Celtics with Tatum will struggle at first and win approximately 60% of their games along the lines of what they're doing now. They will enter the playoffs and lose in the first or second round. I think it's asking a lot of him to come back. I think he will come back and have the kind of impact that he would have had he dropped in perfectly healthy, which obviously is a fictional scenario. But I just think this year it's a bridge too far. And I think they've played way over their heads without him. I don't see it getting that much better with him. Jim.
All right, I'll go out of order. Paul, you must have read my paper. No. Jason Tatum will return, but the Celtics will be eliminated early in the playoffs. I agree with what Paul said. I think that's going to happen. I think he's going to come back. I think the adjustment, which Ken said too, basically, it's going to be a little bit difficult because they're playing a little, they're going to have to make some adjustments. I think they'll adjust, but I think they'll lose in the first or second round of the playoffs. My only hope is back in 1986 when Michael Jordan came back. I think, if I recall correctly, over the objections of the Bulls because they wanted the pick, got them into the playoffs and was phenomenal.
Did he get 60 one night?
He got 63 one night.
63 garden record.
Even though he lost all 3 games to the, I think, greatest NBA team in history, 85-86 Celtics. That would be my one hope. But my prediction matches Paul's. He'll return, but the Celtics will be eliminated early in the playoffs just to a team that's more cohesive at that point.
Was
All
I
right.
supposed to do serious predictions or not serious?
Well, that's a serious prediction for me.
Oh, okay.
Mine
I
are-
really believe that's
No, mine
gonna
are
happen.
serious.
Yeah.
Mine are serious.
I'm
You're
in
not?
between.
You are in between.
Yeah.
All right,
But
Jim.
in between what is the
Jim, why don't you
question?
kick off round 2 here?
All right.
So we have, by the way, mixed predictions on the Celtics, so this
Yeah.
is making it fun.
Okay, round 2. Brooks Koepka's recent defection to the PGA Tour from LIV, with the PGA changing its rule for those who don't follow this that closely, or if you do, great. He would have had to apply reinstatement in August. He could have played in the majors, but they created a special window for any player that's won a major championship or a players' championships in 2022. The window expires in February at the time of the first LIV Golf tournament. There are only 4 players eligible for that window. Koepka, John Rahm, Cam Smith, and Bryson DeChambeau, who's arguably the most popular golfer in the United States. I believe Brooks Koepka's defection is the beginning of the end for LIV Golf. And I say that because, and we touched on this on another show, but this was my prediction, so I'm still going to go with it. A rival league, I don't care what kind of changes in rules they have or whatever, they need stars. A lot of the LIV players are older. Phil Mickelson probably wouldn't be playing on the PGA Tour right now.
Not at all.
Sergio Garcia, Lee Westwood. They have some good players. Joaquin Neiman, Tyrell Hatton. They're not stars. Brooks Koepka is a star. Bryson's a star. They just lost one of arguably 4 real stars they have. DeChambeau, the 3 of them are staying. His contract's up in 2026. He may very, very well jump. I think we're going to look back, I would say 3 or 4 years from now, and say this was the end for LIV. And other than John Rahm, what star have they signed in the last 2 years? They got some guy that just qualified for the PGA Tour in the last tournament, I think, in Europe, before made the final one, or maybe the final one. He could go on to be Tiger Woods. I don't know. But right now, he's not a star. So this is the beginning. This will be the first stone in the beginning, end of LIV.
I'd like to go second here, and I'm going to read you exactly what I have on my sheet. By the year end, 2026, LIV will begin the process of winding up its business. I think Brooks Koepka is the first shoe to drop. I think that the other thing that I want to emphasize, and I agree with you, is by playing hardball, the PGA saying, we're only going to limit who can get back. If you're an existing PGA player and you're thinking about jumping ship, you're going to think, wow, I could be left with nothing. Mm-hmm. And I also want to look at it from the Saudi perspective. At some point, I know they have unlimited, oil drums full of cash. At some point, they're going to ask themselves, why are we doing this again?
Right.
Sports washing, this idea that we're going to make our country look better by having these cheesy golf tournaments that no one watches. Even they are going to have a limit to their tolerance of wasting money. So I think that it's the beginning of the end for LIV, the defection of Brooks Koepka.
Well, my prediction on this was pretty similar, is that I think this is going to be their last year. Maybe one more year after this. But I think that I'm predicting LIV is just about done. They'll have one more full season. They'll be done. And my other prediction is these guys are they're gonna some guys are gonna try to beg their way back into.
Well, there'll be
PGA.
litigation.
Yeah.
If LIV goes away, and I'm a former player of the PGA or someone that otherwise would be eligible, and I'm not allowed in, there'll be antitrust lawsuits. There's going to be all sorts of things about restraint of trade. And
if we're going to talk about this, can I ask you guys a question?
No.
Next. Could PGA
go ahead?
Could the PGA say to them, "Hey, go to Q School, go to Corn Ferry Tour, work your way back in, earn it"? Is there any?
They could do that.
They could do that.
Because that's what I would do if I was the PGA.
I think too, with the sports washing aspect, you need stars. I said it on the other show.
Yeah.
The NFL wanted the Cleveland Browns and Otto Graham. The NFL wanted Joe Namath, Darryl LaMonica, Len Dawson. The NBA wanted Dr. J, David Thompson, some other players. Because like a guy like Dustin Johnson is not a star anymore.
No.
So if the PGA now has taken one of the big 4, if they got Bryson,
well, then they're all done.
they're done.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I know we don't want to go on this too
No,
long.
it's all right. Go ahead.
Even with Bryson, their ratings on TV in America are 0.0.
Right.
That's no way to go through life, son.
Right.
So they already
They have
have
John
no
Belushi's
Yeah.
grade point average.
right.
Bluto. Okay.
Good point.
Good point. All right. I'm going to go on this one.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots will move on from Christian Gonzalez. I think he's arguably their best veteran player right now. You hear mixed things from Pro Football Focus and other outlets about how good he really is, but inevitably after most of these games, you see that he has shut down the other team's best wide receiver. Here's the problem. Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley Jr., these guys make $30 million plus. He's going to want to be the highest paid player at that position in the National Football League. And he's not going to compromise. He's not Tom Brady. He's not going to take less to do Bob Kraft or Mr. Kraft, I'm sorry, or Mike Vrabel, anybody else a favor, and I wouldn't do it either in the National Football League because they'll cut you in a minute. They're going to be looking at having to sign Drake May. They're already into the millions for Milton Williams. They're going to have to look at other guys down the road. I think they're going to move on from Christian Gonzalez. I won't be happy about it as a fan. I think this is his last year as a New England.
Well, what year is he in? His third?
Yeah, but he's
it was second.
No, third year.
Is it
Third
third year already?
Yeah, so he's
So is he on a rookie deal still? How long is that?
yeah, he's
last?
on his first contract. But the problem is that he's coming up to they're going to have to sign him to an extension,
Yeah.
and they can get something for him now or try to get something for him. He just makes too much money.
My comment on that would be if the Patriots do that, this will be one instance where, unlike numerous other areas, it'll be meet the new boss, same as the old boss. This is what Bill Belichick did. He got,
Yep.
at times, he got lambasted for it, but he still won. So if the Pats want to do this and not pay top dollar to the top players, they better win like Bill did. That's all I can say for a fan, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Better win.
Okay. Any thoughts?
Do you want me to do my Patriots prediction?
No, you can do whatever you want. Go ahead. You're
well-
asking a lot of questions.
Yeah,
today.
no
It's
thoughts
annoying
on.
me.
I like
Knock it off.
Gonzalez. I want him to stay. I think I want to. The other option is they keep him until the contract ends, while they still have May and a good team, right?
Yep.
And keep him around, and then hey, when the time comes, if they don't get anything.
Well,
for
there's
him,
other
then-
things they can do. You can franchise a guy and do all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think he's going to be too expensive. Jim,
I thought Ken was going to do his Patriots
oh,
prediction.
go ahead. You have
Well-
a Patriots prediction?
This is a prediction / hope. This is just because the rest of the world is looking at it like this, and I'm thinking, you know what? The Pats will win the Super Bowl next year and start another 20-year run. Once again, the world will hate us.
I agree with the hating part. I think that they already hate the Patriots.
Yep.
There's already a ton of guys on national radio saying, I cannot believe these guys are back.
Right.
It's just too soon. Mm-hmm. The old joke, you make something bad happens, then you make a joke about it. You say, too soon. I think that's what's going on here. I think people are fed up with the Patriots, and I love it. I think it's great.
We
I
think
think
it's
great too.
Yeah.
My Patriots prediction is the New England Patriots will experience a significant drop-off in wins next year, in year 2 of the Vrabel era. As the schedule gets tougher and teams are more prepared for them, they're not looking past them, they will win no more than 10 games. And that's my prediction.
It's interesting. If you look at the schedule, it's definitely more difficult.
Oh,
But every season is different.
but that's one of the reasons I'm predicting them to only win 10 games.
Yeah.
I think every season is different, and they've had a lot go their way this year.
Absolutely.
Now, my other part of that would be if 10 wins gets you in the playoffs, I got a chance to win it. So I hope 10 wins gets them in the playoffs. But down from 14 to 10 in a 17-game schedule is a big drop. It's
saying-
not a big drop in baseball, but
Yeah.
in football, that's a big drop.
They'll win 12 next year. That's my prediction.
All right, Jim, you want to go first?
Okay, yeah.
Next, first.
Sure.
Is it first? Next?
All right. We touched on this the last show. The Boston Red Sox will continue to make moves at the margins and hope that they can make the playoffs and hope that their pitching staff gets hot in the playoffs and hope that it can continue for 2 or 3 series and hope that they can win the World Series. But at no time soon are they going back to trying to create a team like they had in 2004 or 2018, what Theo Epstein used to call an Uber team. At no time in the near future are they going back to that. They'll continue to hope that draft picks hit and that they'll continue with a very good manager in Alex Cora. But the idea and the hope that maybe a region had that they'll go back to that now that Roman Anthony is here and now that they've made the playoffs, I say it ain't happening. They're going to
Okay.
continue on this path.
Interesting. Ken?
Yeah, I'm in the same ballpark as Jim. Get it? It's pun intended.
What's with him today? Something going on.
Love Boston sports nuts. That's what I'm into.
Did you drop by the cannabis shop before the show today? Is that your car that I saw as I drove by it?
I wish.
Can you drug test him? Please.
Yeah, I wish. Okay, Red Sox. I just think they're going to be very average for a while. So I guess that's sort of what Jim said. Maybe make a wild card. Maybe. Okay. Losing first round, that type of thing. I think that's going to continue. Do nothing at the next deadline. I'm predicting that. Okay. No help there. John Henry never says one word to fans all season again. I'm going with that. Ticket prices go up, of course. Crochet has another spectacular year. He goes 24-2 with 900,000 Ks, a 1.12 ERA.
That's what Bob Gibson's ERA was.
Yep.
Wasn't
Gets the Cy Young and then asks to be traded.
Boy, I thought I was pessimistic.
it? I had this one as a separate Sox prediction. I'll make it my reaction to Jim's. I loved everything that Jim said. Yours, a little wacky. I think the Red Sox will make a major trade in February, offloading some of their outfielder depth for a bat. I think they will do that. I think they got a logjam out there, whether it's Duran, Wilbur Abreu. They've got a bunch of guys that can play outfield, and Roman Anthony, and I think they're going to look at moving some of that to get a bat. I have a general baseball one I want to share with you guys. Mm-hmm. I think we're about to experience a fascinating new aspect of watching Major League Baseball this year. I'm not sure people have adequately thought about the automatic ball strike thing.
I have not.
Now, the way automated ball strike. So the way it's going to work is twice a game, a batter or a pitcher can immediately, within 1 second of a ball strike call, challenge it. The pitcher has to make some kind of signal, the catcher or the batter has to touch his helmet. If he does that immediately, cannot look in the dugout, cannot back out, cannot wait for the dugout to rewind it, any of that stuff. If he does that and he's right, they get to keep it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh,
and they will then check. If he's wrong, they lose it. And they only get 2 a game. I think we're all going to be sitting there early in these games going, are they going to challenge it? Are they going to save it? It's going to create a new thing to think about watching the games. Do you, in the bottom of the 4th inning with the bases loaded, take that chance, which you're then not, if you're wrong, you're not going to have it for the latter part of the game. So I think what's going to happen, if I'm a manager, I'm going to tell my players, you cannot challenge a ball strike in the first 4 innings of a game. You just can't. Unless the bases are loaded or unless something is absolutely critical.
Yeah, I was going to add if it
Okay.
could result in a run.
Because I think, to your point, Jim, you've, since all the time I've known you, you've always been a big proponent. The ball strike dynamic is arguably the most fascinating thing about watching a baseball game. You obviously have great plays, but those are few and far between.
Right.
It's the battle between pitcher and catcher, and a whole new dynamic is being introduced to that. Does the batter challenge it? And if he's wrong and he's lost it in the bottom of the 8th inning, when you're trying to catch up, you no longer have that challenge. Wow, that's going to be something that the announcers are going to hammer especially in the postseason. It's like, giving up your timeout in the NFL early in the game. I think it's a really
Same in the
fascinating
NBA.
thing. I think it's a really fascinating addition to Major League Baseball.
They don't
Jim?
like challenging NBA calls in the first quarter.
Yeah, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a new thing, and I would say to you the hypothetical you proposed in the first 4 or 5 innings, I'd tell my players, we're talking if that pitch would have you result in a walk with the bases loaded. That's the only exception, because that could be a run. That I would allow, because that's arguably going to be worth losing an 8th inning challenge. Other than that, I'd say no, don't do it.
But boy,
Don't
since
do it.
the dugout can't do it, it's putting a
Yeah,
lot
it
on
does.
a ball player's head.
wow.
Yeah, it does.
To think, and I love it because Major League Baseball is saying, you guys have been complaining for years. Well, you think it's so easy to call balls and strikes?
Right.
You better be right when you challenge this
And just
call.
remember, when you put that kind of thing on the athlete, think how many times in the NBA guys go like this from the first play of the game on.
Right. Yeah, the NBA players.
and how often they're wrong.
Except the coaches have, Celtics, Drew and Scal call it the Green Lantern
Yeah.
to tell Joe yes or no. That's not going to be possible with baseball.
it's a
So
fascinating
That's a good
new
prediction.
rule.
I think
Yeah,
the
it's-
announcers will be all over
Yeah.
that.
Oh, they're going to love that.
Yep.
Yep. And I think the whole will he use it, will they do it, is going to be what they harp on. Ken, I'm sure you have another fascinating
No, I think I'm out.
All right,
serious.
I got one. Oh, good.
No. Golf. Here we go. There's 4 majors, correct?
Yes.
I'm predicting Scheffler wins 2 and McIlroy wins 2.
Wow.
All right.
My next prediction?
By the way, can I respond to his prediction?
Of course.
I predict I predict the Masters will be won by someone no one has ever heard of in the entire lifetime.
It's usually true.
Okay. Because I'm up to 7 now.
That's
I
more
think
the
I got
US
7,
Open.
so
I got a couple more.
I've added 2, so you
All
and
right,
I
go
can
ahead.
All right. My 5th prediction, and the remaining of the big 4 Boston sports teams.
Oh, that's right. I do have a Bruins one. Go ahead, Jim.
Like I said, wacky tobacco does it every time.
Oh, man. The Boston Bruins will continue the most effective marketing campaign in Boston sports history, which is what it means to be a Bruin. What it means when you put on that sweater with the spokes and the B. And they will continue this because it's been successful despite the fact that they have won 1 cup, Stanley Cup, since 1972. Now, I can think of no other team in professional sports that markets a culture that has had less championships than the Boston Bruins. It would be tough. But you don't see, for example, the New York Knicks, who have not won an NBA championship since 1973, okay, marketing themselves as what it means to be a Knick. When you put that jersey on, you stand for something. No one else does this. I mean, heat culture, that term drives me crazy because I think it's LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, and the players.
Culture.
But, by the way, I do think Alex Spolster's a great coach and Pat Riley's a great, whatever he is,
GM,
president, GM.
whatever.
But at least they've won. They've won 4 championships.
Right.
And by the way, the Bruins have been around a lot longer than the Heat.
Can I interrupt real
let
quick?
me just finish.
All right.
So they will continue this marketing campaign. They will also continue not to win cups. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say my all-time favorite radio call in Boston sports history is "The Cup is coming home" in 2011.
There you go.
Coming home. It's been gone 39 years.
Right.
What are you
Right.
talking about? It's coming
Right.
home.
Yeah, coming home to
What,
win.
it was a runaway? What
That
happened?
was my prediction of the Bruins. The cup is coming home. Not. It's not
my
coming home. It hasn't been here. It's been here once since 1972. But by the way, they're able to market like that because they have the most loyal fan
Oh, yeah.
base in
I
the
agree.
history of sports.
Oh, I
Loyal.
agree. They're phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yep.
All credit to the fans.
Yep. And that black and gold. And by the way, when you go to Bruins games, every single person has gear
No,
on.
all
Oh,
credit to
yeah.
Bruins.
100%. Somebody's
All
got a
credit
hat,
to
a
Bruins
shirt, the
fans.
sweater, the socks.
They are the greatest fans
and they
in
s-
the world.
They stick through the. I mean, even more than Patriot fans who are.
Oh,
We're.
But the prediction of them not
front
winning
runners.
a cup for a long time again is they don't have enough good players.
yeah.
Yep.
Again.
All right, I got a football one.
Okay.
Okay. The fad of not kicking field goals early in games will die out slightly next year.
I agree with that.
I agree.
I think that
Should. Go ahead.
I think sometimes people, even the smart MIT grads, misunderstand analytics. Analytics, okay, it may be true that on 4th and 2, your expected points scored at a certain point on the field
I love
is
expected.
4, and your field goal expected points would be like 2.8, taking into account the possibility of missing the field goal. But I'm sorry, there is a psychological component to sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I think particularly early in games, take the points. Take the points. Get the points. Get the lead. Cut the lead. Because we see at the end of these games, when you have 4 downs, it just does. It becomes easier to score. We all see it. But you're not chasing points at the end. I mean, the National Football League, for years, field goals were important. The Patriots won Super Bowls because they had made field goals earlier in the game.
Right.
Or they lost Super Bowls because they didn't make the field goals. I don't know. I just think that sometimes you got to look at analytics and say, okay, it's a tool. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to take it into account. But I don't want my team turning over the ball at the 10-yard line like we saw last month when the Patriots, gave the ball up to the Chargers, and then the Chargers didn't even score 3 points out of it because they tried to go for it on 4th and 3. I don't think coaches are going to want. I think there'll be a what do you call it?
Reversal?
Shift.
Yeah, a shift back.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I remember the college team that went for it on 4th down no matter where they were. That was kind of fun. I
Yeah.
can't remember who that was.
Well, the high
but-
school team in Arkansas.
Oh, that was it. A
Yeah,
high school team.
right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They never punted.
I think you're right. They're gonna shift back, and I think the psychological component of sports. I don't know if it was Bird or it probably wasn't Bird, but as someone said, it's easier to shoot with the lead, and I think that applies. I think the psychological component of sports can be overrated at times, but it is present, and I do think it's easier to play with a lead. So to me, the Chargers absolutely in that game should have gone for 3 to grab the lead. No question
Absolutely.
about it.
No
Yeah,
question.
one thing that I always think is interesting about 4th and 2 in particular. I mean, 4th and an inch. Okay, but 4th and 2, 4th and 3 is you weren't thinking on 1st down necessarily that you were going to go with a 4-down strategy.
Right.
No, and that's what they do in the fourth quarter.
Right. At the end of the game, your 1st down play, your 2nd down play, your 3rd down play is with the mindset that you're going to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, exactly.
In these other situations, you're in many cases, not all, but you're running a traditional 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down play with the 3-down mentality. Now it's 4th and 2. I don't know. I just feel like it's, and I'm a modernist. I think analytics teach us a lot of things.
Oh,
and
I do too.
I don't like
Yeah.
bunting. I don't like stealing.
I don't like bunting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I
We don't like bunting. No bunting.
I like putting the
Not even
best
a
hitter
bunt
on the
cake.
team at the leadoff instead of burying him in the lineup and having a weak hitting second baseman batting second. I'm okay with that modern thinking
Table
about
Yeah, I
things.
love when they hit Aaron Judge second, by the way.
Yeah.
I love that.
Get him up first.
Well, I like to have the fact that there's a high on base percentage guy in front of him.
No, but I mean first or second. Get him up
Yeah.
early in
No,
the,
I
in the
love when
order.
they hit him second.
Anyway, okay, we've buried
Yeah.
that one. Anything on that? You agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I think we might be wrong in reverse. I think it may get worse, but
No, I'm going to go with your prediction.
yeah. Okay.
I think
go
there's an
ahead.
awful lot of stuff.
I think
I'm
the
gonna go with
data
yours.
is going to go, hey, wait a minute, we should have gone for that.
Yeah.
We should have gone for the field goal.
I think coaches will reflect back on the
Yeah.
season and go, "Damn."
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Jim.
All right, my next prediction, my 6th prediction, and let me preface this by saying, you guys know, I love hockey. But my 2 favorite sports, depending on the time of the year, are basketball and baseball. However, in February of 2026, we are going to have, if people pay attention to both, and that's, of course, up to them, a tremendous contrast between basketball and hockey. And what do I mean by that? The NBA, which I have long advocated for, is going to have the All-Star Game feature a team of all non-U.S. players.
Which is going to be stacked.
Yes. My idea was
80% of the league.
My idea was to have a 48-minute game between that team and a U.S. team, which would also be stacked. The NBA, in its infinite wisdom, and I, by the way, think that Adam Silver is the best commissioner in professional sports, and I could list a lot of reasons, but I do. But in its infinite wisdom, it is decided that there will be 3 teams. The non-U.S. team, 2 U.S. teams. They will only have 8 players each, and they will play 12-minute games. Now, this is completely not taking into account my opinion. Not that they should. But
why not?
This is not going to produce what they want to produce. I don't think you're going to see players playing as hard as they would if it was just one game, U.S. versus the world.
Right.
Because we saw what happened in the 2024 Olympics. The U.S. almost got beat not once but twice with a great era of basketball. LeBron, Curry, Durant. It took Curry, one of those classic Curry, to win the gold medal. And if Jokic hits a 3 up 11 in the fourth quarter, we might lose that game too in the semis. So the idea is best on best, as the NHL calls it. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to get panned. That's one half of the prediction. The second half of the prediction, and one of my few positive predictions for this year, is the Olympics. Hockey is playing best on best. U.S. team, Canadian team, whatever. It's going to be, as it always is in hockey, back to the 72 series, for those of us old enough to remember Team NHL versus Team Soviet. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be must-watch TV. If you love hockey, it's going to be great, and it's going to put the NBA's, and I'm an NBA guy, it's going to put the NBA's idea to shame. And by the way, the ad that they're running for this with John Hamm is phenomenal. He talks about the Olympics. He's giving a pep talk to the U.S. team.
Right.
He talks about the Olympics. He talks about sportsmanship and all this. And one of the players goes, whatever, Canada. And he's like, what? What? And he goes, yeah. And they show the part of the film of the fight that took place at the drop of the puck in the Four Nations tournament, by the way, which was followed by another fight, the Kachuk brothers, 10 seconds later. Phenomenal ad. The tournament's going to be great. They're going to put the NBA to shame.
Hockey amateur hockey is by far the best amateur sport, I think. College, international, by amateur, I mean international games, that kind of stuff. I absolutely agree with you 100%. The only thing I try to, what is their thinking in the NBA about this?
I know what it is.
Is injuries,
No.
or they don't want the U.S. to get embarrassed?
No.
I don't understand it. Tell me. Educate me.
No, this is the reason, and
Go.
I don't buy
He
it.
knows.
And actually, you've had the solution to it. So the problem is the league is between 25 and 33% non-U.S. So by picking a 12-man team there, that's not really fair to the 70 or close to 70% of U.S. players. And therefore, we're picking 16 U.S. players, 8 foreign. There's going to be some good foreign players that don't make it, by the way. Assuming everyone's healthy. They might not be. That's why they're doing it. You had the solution, is name the 2 all-star teams, but not everybody goes.
Yeah, no.
So name an East and a West of mixed teams, and then you name the 2 teams that will actually play.
No, you're right. You're describing the solution. What I can't wrap my head around is why are they doing it that way? Because there were other things they could have done.
I don't think they want your way, because the players will say, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm not on that 12-man team. I want to be on that 12-man team, and that's I need to go." And you're going to tell some players you don't want to go. That's what I think. I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying that's what I think they're right.
Well, at the end of the day,
I
the
would have
NBA
done what you said. I said that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm with
I
you.
don't-
I'm with you.
I don't get the whole NBA All-Star thing. It's already making me crazy that this is the
Hey
format.
Ken, if you could play me an NBA All-Star game that was anywhere close to the U.S.'s semifinal and final game in the Olympics, sign me up, man. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think the hockey tournament's going to be just like that.
Yeah. International hockey's great. Okay, I have one last prediction.
And I got one last.
This is a Patriots prediction, and this is a scary one. I see there are so many openings that the Patriot in the national. There are 9 as of the shooting of this show with Mike Tomlin being terminated. I don't believe for a second that he. By the way, I disagree with that. On another show, I'm going to talk about Mike Tomlin. I vehemently disagree with Pittsburgh.
Well, they didn't
moving on.
terminate him, didn't they? I thought he left on his own.
That
No?
team, it means a lot to make it look good on his way out.
Okay.
I don't buy for. I mean, Belichick left as a mutual decision, and a year later, Kraft said, "I fired Bill Belichick."
Right.
I think the Patriots coaching staff is going to get raided. Zach Kerr, the linebacker coach, has effectively been the defensive coordinator.
Yep.
People are raving across the league, saying things like, "You can't tell what defense the Patriots are in." They disguise their defense better than any team in the National Football League. I think guys like him, the offensive assistants, maybe even a Josh McDaniels, are going to get serious looks from other teams, and I'm a little worried about it. But that's what happens when you win.
Right.
That's what happens when you win.
Yeah.
My comment on that is you're probably right. When you win, you lose assistants in every sport. You do. Basketball and football especially, to
Yeah.
me, and I think that's probably
My
true.
prediction
I
on-
just hope Josh stays. I really do.
My prediction on NFL coaches is this year there was 9. Next year on Black Monday there'll be 15 or 14. How many don't make the playoffs? Whatever doesn't make the playoffs next year.
Well,
the
no,
guy
they're
gets-
firing guys that made the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going with 15 coaches next
And
year.
that doesn't count well, I guess it does count like Brian Daboll. They're counting him because they're counting the Giants who got fired midseason.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah. I mean.
All right, do you have one more?
No, I'm done.
This is my 7th then. This is a very depressing, this may be the most depressing.
good way to
prediction I'm
end it,
gonna
Jim.
make. Yeah.
End on a high note.
Yeah.
No, this is a very, very low note. Within the next 3 to 5 years, Nikola Jokic will go to the Lakers and team with Luka Doncic.
Oh, that's a given, Jim.
It's a virtual given.
It's a lock.
It doesn't stop us from screaming into the Izonian night, as Paul used to say. Well, the night, as Paul used to say. It's going to happen. It always happens. Those two, and especially those two guys are friends. They're both non-U.S. players. And if I wasn't such a Celtic fan and really, really don't like the Lakers, putting those guys on the same court together will be like those couple of times that Bird played with Magic, both as an amateur, well, a college, just that college when the famous story when Joe B. Hall was the
Very famous.
U.S. national team coach. There is a film of it, Bird and Magic hasn't been, and they used to scrimmage, and Bird and Magic would destroy the starters because they were all from Kentucky, and Hall was starting them. And in the Olympic tournament when Bird and Magic, I'll never forget, first play of the Olympics, Magic dribbled down. Larry slips it back, Bird hits a jumper. It's going to be similar to that. It's going to be awful. It's just going to be
Just
awful.
for some historical context,
It'll be awful.
somehow or another, the Lakers figured out a way to get Chamberlain. They figured out a way to get Jabbar. They figured out a way to get Shaq.
Yeah.
They figured out a way to get Gasol.
Dwight Howard,
They figured out a way to get Dwight Howard.
Kobe
They
Bryant.
figured out a way to get Anthony Davis.
all bigs.
All the bigs.
and
Yep.
George Mikan. He
And
did
they
not
fig-
start
they
with the
figured
Lakers.
out a way to get George Mikan.
Yep.
There are those of us that think the league has maybe a little something to do with
No,
it.
that's me. A lot.
It hasn't always worked out. The Anthony Davis experiment.
They won a
Well,
championship.
They did win.
Well, that's true, but not long term. I just think that you're probably right.
Yeah, no.
It's
and
depressing to
That
think
is
about
low
that.
note. Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome, Ken.
Wanna go
I
out on
knew
that
Ken
note?
Berman would love that.
Want to go out on that note? Let's
All
get
right, I want to add one more before we hang.
Okay.
I predict that we go national. All right, see you next time on Boston Sports Nuts.
Well, you can tell by the likes we'll get it.
Thank you for watching Boston Sports Nuts. You can find all of our episodes available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. For more information, go to westwoodmediacenter.tv or follow Boston Sports Nuts on Facebook, Instagram, and X.